What's up, y'all? Welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be doing a little review on the iPhone 12. I've had it for about a week now and I have a few thoughts. So in terms of design, the iPhone 12 has seen not too much change, but it's gotten the new flat edges that's reminiscent of the iPhone 4 and 5, which is very welcome. That's something that I actually really enjoy. And in some regions, there's a new iPhone 12 5G cutout that I only know as far as the US having it. Besides that, the display has gotten a new ceramic shield, which is supposed to make it 4 times as shatter resistant. We will see. I'm not sure how credible that is, but that's according to Apple. As you can already tell, fingerprint magnet due to the glossy back, which I wish it had the frosted glass from the iPhone 12 Pro, but it is what it is. And something else it has is MagSafe magnets. So they put those magnets all around the behind of the iPhone 12, right around the Apple logo. And that's supposed to make it so that whenever you connect a MagSafe compatible charger, it magnetically automatically aligns with the magnets in the iPhone, so it gets perfect alignment so you can get the full charge. The inevitable future coming up is Apple's looking to remove the Lightning port and have just wireless charging only, and that could be as soon as 2021, but who knows at this point. I've actually really enjoyed it. I've upgraded from the iPhone XR. Nothing really huge. Like I got it mostly for YouTube because I can do higher quality 4K recording, and I can also use the front-facing camera that does 4K now. And my XR only did 1080p, so that was really the biggest reason why I upgraded. And then personally for me, I wanted to get a larger storage size. But in terms of actual feature jumps, there aren't too many huge ones. But overall, this is a fantastic phone. Let's get a little deeper into it. So battery life, that's kind of the caveat of this phone right now. It's not bad or anything like that. Because of the 5G modems that are now in all the iPhone 12s, there's a bit of a battery drain that goes from that. You still get comfortable 6 hours of screen on time. So that's pretty much a full day. You can kill it in a full day if you do heavy use, but I don't. So usually I can get about a full day of use out of it. And Apple, to help mitigate the drain that the 5G modems cause, they added smart data mode. So that basically means when you need 5G speeds, it'll use the 5G modem. But if you're just, your phone's just sitting in your pocket, or you're really not doing anything that requires the bandwidth of 5G, it'll actually use 4G LTE, and it won't say that it's doing that. So even though it'll show the 5G like little badge at the top, it'll drop down to LTE. So you might be experiencing slower speeds on 5G, and you might not know why. That's because it's doing that. But it's pretty smart about it, so I won't do it at the wrong times. I've noticed comfortably like faster speeds when I'm on 5G. And overall, I don't have the millimeter wave 5G, so I'm not getting those like advertised 2 gigabit down and up. And I believe I'm probably getting the slower version of 5G, which is still comfortably like there's still a large gap of difference between that and LTE. So I'm noticing the speed changes, and honestly, the speed increase that I've gotten is pretty much good enough for me. I don't really know anyone who needs 2 gigabit down and up on their phone. Most people don't even have that in their homes. So, that's not that huge of a difference for me. Now, the biggest upgrade on this phone is the display. The display went from a 720p LED screen to what we have now is a 1080p OLED. It has slimmer bezels, which means it's actually slightly larger than previous years. At a 6.1 inch display. The only thing that kind of sucks is that it's still at 60 hertz, but I can understand why they did that. I might have caused even more strain on the battery, especially with the 5G modem in already. I can see why they chose to go 60 hertz on the iPhone 12, but I was actually hoping that the Pros would get the 120 hertz Pro Motion that the iPad Pros have, but they didn't. So I guess they're saving that for next year. And to come back to 5G, it's been advertised everywhere. I don't know if you guys saw the keynote when they unveiled the iPhone 12 lineup. It's pretty much everywhere. iPhone 12, 5G. It's pretty much synonymous. 5G, 5G, 5G. Every single carrier is advertising about it. And I can understand why. Whenever there's a new iPhone that comes out, millions of people buy it, right? And 5G is relatively new. And because all of these iPhones now support 5G, this kind of incentivizes carriers to kind of speed up their production of 5G towers. So by advertising it, by getting more people to own it, that kind of helps 5G, spread out a little bit more. And like I said before, I don't have the millimeter wave 5G, which is the one that gives you the extremely high speeds. But I still notice the speed increase that I get, which is can't really quantify it in terms of percentage wise, but all the social apps that I use, Instagram, Twitter, follow me, slight plug in the description. They all load significantly faster when I'm on 5G versus when I was on LTE. So I notice it. And cameras, not really that big of a difference in most scenarios when it comes to photos. So in good conditions, good lighting, there aren't really that much of a difference versus the 11 Pro, except for in horrible conditions. So this is like when you're in bad lighting, when you're using night mode, and even night mode is struggling. Just in really bad conditions, you notice it a lot more. I'm going to show you some pictures on the screen right now. These are ones that I've taken in much better conditions. The first two pictures are taken on the standard camera, and the last two were taken on, not the last two, just the last one was on the ultra wide. And overall, the pictures look amazing, super sharp. The quality is great. What you'd expect out of an iPhone. It's arguably in the top 3 best cameras. You can put it wherever you decide to. Video. That's where the iPhone absolutely smashes it. Hits a home run. But that being said, the 12 Pro Max hasn't came out yet. And that's supposed to have different sensors than the 12 and 12 Pro. Which actually use the same exact cameras, with the 12 Pro having an extra telephoto lens. So the 12 Pro Max might become the new video king. That one doesn't come out for about, I think, a week or two at the time of me recording this. So we'll see. But as of right now, this is the king of video, as well as the 12 Pro, since they have the same standard and wide angle lenses. And also another huge feature that's been touted as the new amazing video standard, Dolby Vision HDR. Apple's been pushing it as hard as they could. It was in the keynote for a solid amount of time. But there's a little bit more to that. I'm going to show some video that I took using the HDR on the rear-facing standard camera. All right, so this is me testing out the new video on the iPhone 12, as well as the audio coming straight from the internal mic. I'm also doing it handheld, so this can test how stable the video is. And so with Dolby Vision HDR, it's a format of HDR, as well as HDR10, and there's many more. Right now, iPhone 12 and the entire lineup as well, the Pros, the Mini, stuff like that, all support Dolby Vision HDR. And that's it. No other phones, no other cameras, just this iPhone for now. So when you send a HDR video to any other phone, or you see it on any other app, as Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff, it might not look how it was intended to look. So if you send it to like another iPhone or another Android phone, it might come out as SDR. So that's standard dynamic range. So the colors would be a little more muted, as well as the brights won't look as bright, the darks won't look as dark. That's what HDR does. So yeah, so hopefully this looks good. iPhone video is in a league of its own. Best in class by a mile. So those are the big changes, or pretty much any of the changes this year that weren't on the iPhone 11 or 11 Pro. iOS 14. We've had it for a while now. It's fantastic. Widgets are, finally came to iOS, even though Android has had it for years and years and years. It's great. It's quick. There's a few bugs here and there, but that's just because apps haven't updated to support the new iOS 14. Face ID hasn't changed. I'm assuming it's still using the same sensors as the 11, 11 Pro. So it's still quick, but in a time where everyone's wearing masks, it's kind of difficult to use Face ID. So I wish they had the fingerprint sensor in the lock button like they did on the iPad Air, which uses the fingerprint sensor in the lock button. That'd been great. Because honestly, I'm more times than not when I'm not home, I'm wearing a mask. So I got to use the PIN code, which is kind of annoying. Performance, it's super fast. 814, upgraded from the 813 last year. It's super quick, 4 gigs of RAM. iPhone has always notoriously been the fastest phone for years and years now, thanks to Apple's amazing designs on their chips. But the fact that it's running at 60 hertz makes it feel slower than phones that are running at 120 or even 90 hertz. So, like, if I were to use an Android phone that had a slower chip but was running 120 hertz, it might feel faster than this phone. Even though when you run the synthetic tests and the rendering tests and stuff like that, this phone generally comes out on top. It's being sold for $830. I know on Apple's website it was a little confusing because Verizon and I believe AT&T had a $30 discount, so they were being sold at $799. But T-Mobile and Sprint have it at $830, so that's what I'm going to go based off. This phone is going for $830. Starts out with 64 gigs of storage. I wish it was started at 128. I have the 128 version, so that was about a $50 increase. So I paid $180. And overall, I would say this is the phone for a majority of people. This is a fantastic iPhone. I could understand if some people are a little hesitant. If you have the 11 series that came out last year, do not upgrade. It's not really worth the jump. But for anyone who has the 10 series or below that, this is a fantastic upgrade. If you want to wait until next year, maybe they'll finally add 120 hertz or even 90 hertz. We'll see. Hopefully, maybe they'll take out the Lightning port. And knowing Apple, they'll probably just go straight to no port and skip USB-C. Kind of sucks. We wish they finally bring USB-C to iPhones like they have with iPads. But yeah, this phone gets my full recommendation. If you enjoyed the video today, guys, click like, subscribe for some new videos every Tuesday. I'm going to have my socials down in the description, so follow me for some new updates regarding the videos and stuff like that. And besides that, see y'all later.